Whoa, guys, we made it. We made it to green screen. Wow. I can finally do something I've been wanting to do my whole life. Chewie, punch it. Hello everybody, welcome to 2017. I am John Maffio. Welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel, and today in 2017 coming the biggest video of 2016, which is weird. This is something I usually do in 2016, but there were so many movies that came out last year at the end of the year that I had to postpone this video a little bit, but we're finally here. These are my best movies of 2016. Now, I mention this in every video, every year, but I'm going to say it again. As I always do, this is subjective. This is my list. These are the movies that I thought over and thought through thick and thin in my head over and over. And these are the movies, the top 10 movies that I came up with that really stick out the most. These are the movies that no matter what have the most reference, have the most memorability, the movies that really impacted me, and not necessarily the movies that got the best ratings, but the movies that when I thought about them, these are the top 10 that will be most remembered this year. And by this year I mean 2016, not 2017. 2017 just started. Duh. There were a lot of big movies that came out in 2016. A lot of them failed. Let's be honest, the blockbusters weren't that good, but it actually turned out that 2016 was a pretty damn awesome year for indies and smaller films. And having said that, my honorable mentions list is ginormous. These are movies that didn't quite make the cut, and I wanted them to make the cut, but they were so... I have a lot. Green Room, it starred Anton Yelchin, rest in peace, brother. Really fun movie, very gory movie, insane thriller that everybody should see when they get the chance. Sing Street, a really feel-good coming-of-age movie with some awesome original 80s type music. Definitely recommend this one. It's awesome. The Nice Guy, starring Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, directed by the Shane Black. This is a really great crime thriller with great comedic timing by both main actors mentioned. The Eye in the Sky. This is another movie that went under everybody's radars, but I saw it in the city like half a year ago, and it turned out to be really good. Moonlight. This is a movie that's going to change the game for cinema and for indies, and it's a really well-made movie. It's efficiently made. It's also got an emotional punch, and you need to see this if you're a fan of film. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Awesome movie with great performances, and say what you want about the ending, but this movie is damn good. The Accountant. I love this movie. It's got Ben Affleck in it. He's great in it, and it's also a really fun movie. Don't Think Twice is a movie that, if you're in the creative field or you're especially into improv and you're looking to break out into the business, this is a movie for you, and it might hit you in a place where you might not want to be hit, but it will definitely resonate with you. Silence. Martin Scorsese movie. Really good, but it just didn't hit me emotionally to the point where I can get it on the top 10. Nocturnal Animals. Ugh, weird movie. The Edge of 17 is another awesome movie. It stars Haley Steinfeld. She has an awesome kick-ass performance, and it's about high school. Kubo and the Two Strings. This is like the best stop-motion movie I've seen since The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think I haven't really seen that many stop-motion movies in my life, but this movie was amazing. And Hunt for the Wilder People. This is a movie directed by the man who's directing Thor Ragnarok, and also he made the movie with the documentary with the vampires, and this dude is making some great movies. It's also got Sam Neill in it. Oh yeah, and that little movie, Rogue One. That didn't make my list. Is that a little weird? Is that a little weird? It might be, but it just wasn't good enough to make the cut. That's so weird to say. Oh my god. Okay, and without further ado, let us get into the top 10 best movies, my best movies of 2016. Number 10 is Hell or High Water. This is the little indie film that came out in August that stars Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. I'm not going to get into the plot, but Chris Pine and Ben Foster are brothers. They're robbing banks for some reason, and Jeff Bridges is the county sheriff who wants to take these guys down before he retires. This is a movie that I really liked coming out of the theater, but thinking about it over time, it just got better and better as it marinated in my head. The story feels very personal, and we have two sides of the story between Jeff Bridges and his partner and the brothers Chris Pine and Ben Foster. It's great dynamics. They come together beautifully at the end, and somewhat tragically, without spoiling anything, but it's a really, really good movie with a great, great sense of filmmaking going on here. Number 9 is Swiss Army Man. This is a film that I didn't expect to like as much as I did. I saw it in theaters, and it really had an impact, but it didn't have that much of an impact that I thought it would at first. Watched it again on Blu-ray, and it really hit harder the second time. The performances are really great. Daniel Radcliffe plays an incredible corpse. Paul Dano plays a great complimentary living person next to Daniel Radcliffe. The story basically revolves around everything in life, literally. Everything we go through, the trials, the tribulations, the emotions, love, everything. And it really makes you think. It's so unique, it's so different, it's so original, but it's also just a really damn good movie. Number 8 is Civil War, Captain America 3. Yeah, this movie made the cut, but not Rogue One. You want to know why? Because I think Civil War was a better made movie overall. I cared about the characters, I cared about the story. It was a culmination of all the movies before it, but it still, regardless, was a really good movie on its own. The fights had emotional impact, but they were also visually incredible and lots of fun to watch, very engaging. The airport scene, everybody else says it, but I'm going to say it too. Again, it's like incredible. Spider-Man is reinvigorated on screen with Tom Holland, and they did a great job with the scenes that they put him in. Black Panther, I care about Black Panther now. The last act of the movie between Iron Man and Captain America is like some of the best stuff in a superhero movie I've seen ever. I've seen the movie like 6-7 times. It still hits me really hard every time I watch it. And the movie's just damn fun. Number 7 is The Conjuring 2. Yeah. This is a crazy one. I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did, but I loved it. James Wan is just an incredible filmmaker, and he really proves his worth again with this one. He improves on all the faults that I had with The Conjuring 1. It's damn scary. The Crooked Man and the Nun, oh my god. The Conjuring 2 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, perhaps, and it really deserves a spot on my top 10 list. I loved it. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's incredible. If you're a fan of horror, you gotta see this movie. Number 6 is Eddie the Eagle. Yeah. I didn't review this one because I never got the chance to, but I saw it really late in the game in December. And this movie not only is a lot of fun to watch, really feels like a retro film, which I don't really go crazy for retro films, and I'm not a fan of how it's becoming very popular lately, but this one is really done in a way that feels earnest, it feels poignant, it feels heartfelt, and by the end of the movie, whether it was manipulative or not, I was crying really hard. I can't even tell you guys how hard I was crying at the end of this movie. Like, it really, there's some plot elements that they set up really well that by the end of the movie, when those emotional plot points pay off, I had like tissues everywhere. It was incredibly sad. Like, sad that I was crying as much as I was. Eddie the Eagle is a very inspiring movie. Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton are great as a duo, and I can't wait to watch this movie over and over again. It is amazing. Number 5 is Don't Breathe. Now, going into this movie the first time, it was one hell of a theater experience. But not just above that, it's just a visual spectacle. It's a really well-made and well-directed horror movie by Fede Alvarez, the man who rebooted Evil Dead. Jane Levy is a great lead. All the people in this movie are great. Frickin' Stephen Lang as the blind old man. This film feels like one of those horror games where you're trying to escape an unstoppable force and you can't do anything about it because you have no weapons. And if you do, the weapons don't really do anything. It feels like a really well-made movie about that. Number 4 is Arrival. If you haven't noticed lately, this guy, the director of this film, every time he makes a movie, his films end up in my top 10 somewhere at the top 5 of my top 10. This dude is becoming like a top tier director within the next, like the last couple of years. He's just been killing it. Sicario, Prisoners, this, Enemy. He's making Blade Runner 2049. I haven't even seen Blade Runner 1, but I want to see Blade Runner 2049 because of this dude. Arrival is one of the best sci-fi movies. It's a thinking movie. You have to pay attention to all the minute and nuanced details, but it really pays off. This movie had me screaming in my car, literally out loud on the way home, because it took me like a half an hour to register certain moments and certain plot points that paid off in my brain. And when I realized what happened with certain plot points, my brain couldn't take it. I couldn't hold it in. I had to scream. This movie is one of the best. Amy Adams is great. The story is incredible. It's subtle, but it's great. If you're a fan of sci-fi, you have to see Arrival. This movie has a nice sense of scope and scale. The cinematography is out of this world. Aliens out of this world. But it's also very personal. And when you watch this movie multiple times, you're going to get more things out of it after knowing what happens with the story. Arrival is next level. It's next level stuff. Number 3 is Everybody Wants Some. I didn't review this movie either, but I saw it like in the summer. This on one random night, I decided to watch this. Ooh, Richard Linklater. And let me tell you, this is like definitely the most rewatchable movie I've seen this year. It's got like the most incredible 80s soundtrack ever. And it's a movie just about a bunch of guys who are playing college baseball, but it's before college, so it's just a bunch of guys who are preparing to play college baseball and preparing for college, but they're literally just hanging out, trying to have sex with girls. It's a movie about nothing. It's like a Seinfeld movie. It's literally a movie about nothing. But I've never been so fascinated by these characters. This movie made me like Ryan Guzman. And I did not like him at all. This movie made me like people that I didn't think I would like as actors. Everybody has something to do with their roles, and they all play a really awesome part in making like a group, a team effort, and every character felt like a real person, and it's just a really awesome movie. I can't get enough of it. Everybody Wants Some. If you haven't seen it, maybe you should go get some. Number 2 is Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. It's very schlocky in the beginning. Andrew Garfield's character is very religious and he believes in God. Help me get one more. But the whole first half of the movie is us getting used to his character and what he's gone through before he goes into war. And you could argue that the first half of the movie isn't that great, but for some reason the first half of the movie makes me love it even more because it makes the impact of the second half with the war scenes and the incredible gratuitous violence, it makes the impact hit even harder. It really does. Hacksaw Ridge makes me believe I've been in World War II, even though I've never been part of any war, period, except for like water gun fights with my friends when I was like 7. But that's nothing to joke about. This movie really depicts war like a true horrific thing. And it really is like some of the most inspiring, impressive filmmaking I've seen this year. Hacksaw Ridge has great performances, a really, really good story that packs an emotional punch, like all the other movies I've seen. And it's also just a really, really dope war movie. And my number 1 is La La Land. La La Land. Yeah. I saw this movie, expecting to really like it because it's Damien Chazelle. He directed Whiplash. Whiplash was my number 1 movie of 2014, and he made a musical. Yeah, well, apparently, I really like musicals. Ryan Gosling isn't necessarily great in the movie as an actor, but he really is complemented well with his chemistry with Emma Stone, who is a triumph in this movie. The two of them together are an incredible acting force. The movie always moves. The camera work is some of the coolest camera work I've seen all year, and the whole movie just feels like a lightning in the bottle type of package. We're never going to get a La La Land ever again. Yes, it does emulate musicals and the over-the-top epicness of musicals from a particular time period decades ago, but it's the best that I've seen it. I've seen more than a handful of musicals from that time period, and I could definitely say this movie feels like it belongs right there, but it also might even trump a lot of those musicals from that time period. We'll just have to see how this movie fares with that little unfair thing called time, because there's a lot of movies that people loved when they first saw it, and then over time didn't like. Kind of like the Avatar effect, where people are like, oh my god, Avatar in 2009, and now people don't really care about Avatar anymore. But I feel like I'm very confident when I say that I'm always gonna love La La Land. Alrighty, those are my top 10 movies of 2016. And we are starting a new year again, 2017. My god, so many movies coming out this year too. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, more stacked. It's honestly overwhelming, but I'm excited for the year. But now I want to know from you guys. 2016 was solid. It was a really good year for movies. Blockbuster wise, not so much, aside from a couple exceptions. But for indies and for movies during the fall or in smaller indie movies, man, was it actually fantastic. I want to know your top 10 list now, though. What are movies that I didn't mention in my honorable mentions or in the top 10 that you thought were great? Let me know anything down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the rest of my social medias and my Odyssey page down below. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys for the worst movies of 2016. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Stay strong, John. Stay strong, John. See you guys next time.